This episode contains spoilers for Telltale's Game of Thrones and the HBO series it's based on. Hello and welcome back to the Push to Smart Water Cooler. This episode we are discussing the final episode of Season 1 of Telltale Games' Game of Thrones. At the end of last episode, there was that big decision whether you save Roderick or Asher. We both chose to save Asher, and then all of the pieces are starting to fall into place-ish.
They're falling, all right.
So, any just general thoughts?
What a piece of shit.
I know.
I haven't played a lot of games this year, and I've finally had time these last few weeks, and I've been really into Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And playing this game, it was like every minute of this overlong, drawn-out finale was like, this is a minute I could be playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate. But instead, I'm playing this piece of crap.
One thing that I realized is that this game is longer than one season of Game of Thrones, the TV show. And that is so disappointing. Like, when you put it into that perspective...
How?
I know, right? Because Game of Thrones is only 10 episodes a season, and they're not usually longer than an hour-long episodes. And we had 6 episodes at 2 hours a pop, and I'm just like, oh my god.
And this one felt so much longer than 2 hours. Like, it just went on forever.
It did, and it just had these, like, really annoying kind of bullshit moments just to lengthen for no reason. Like, jumping ahead, because who cares about structure in this game? Telltale doesn't, obviously. When you're Asher near the end and there's that big fight going on, you're like, okay, now we're going up to White Hill. And then it's like, oh no, there's another guy in front of you. And now there's another guy in front of you. And now there's a guy with a horn helmet, and suddenly he's really important, and you have to kill him.
Yeah, that just felt like, because that was one of the scenes in particular I was thinking, like, my favorite scenes in Game of Thrones, the TV shows, are, like, the big battles. Mm-hmm. The best part of last season was, like, the 30-minute long battle against the White Walkers. That was amazing. And I'm sitting there playing this, like, this is so tedious. How did they make this so tedious when these are the types of things I look forward to in the show? Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure I can put my finger on an exact reason. I don't know if it's just the fact that I don't give a shit about any of these characters.
Yeah.
That the way that the game is structured, there isn't any meaningful inputs for me to do to feel like I'm involved. But at the same time, if it's like, if I'm not involved, then it's also not compelling to watch because the character models are not very good. Like, the animation is not very good. So it's just like you just come away with nothing, which is a bad sign. Like, episode 6, you're supposed to be invested. But I was at the point where it was just like, I don't care.
I know.
It's not worth it. I want to go play Assassin's Creed.
I was very much like, I don't care, but I have to do this. I kept putting it off, and I was like, okay, Stacey's already played it, so I have to play it. So this episode starts off with Tuttle.
It's like, as soon as it starts and it's like Tuttle, it's like, god damn it.
I know. Every time Tuttle was on screen, I was just kind of like, how dare you? They get to the North Grove, and there are bastards there, and... One of them is a warg, and one of them is a blood mage. And I don't know. Although you did mention how, like, the big battles in Game of Thrones were really cool. I actually really did like the battle with Tuttle and the, like, group in the North Grove. Just because it was very well choreographed and kind of to the point.
It was a little bit, like, I felt like Tuttle was just kind of lost in the action a little bit. Yeah. Which felt very silly. Because it was like he was just kind of standing there, and then, like, something would, like, meander towards him, and he'd be like, oh, lift his sword in quick time event. Yeah. But I did think, like, there were some things about the North Grove once we got there that really annoyed me. Like, I hated how they just stroked Tuttle's ego the entire time. Like, you are so important. You are the special. When he is not. He is obnoxious. He is Jon Snow, like... beta version. But I really like the idea of the North Grove, and I thought, like, the powers that these siblings had were really cool. And it bugged me so much that it took us 6 frickin' episodes to get to them, and then we see no more of them.
That's the thing. I was thinking, like, had we actually gotten here sooner, I would have really liked to see what took place in the North Grove.
There is no reason for Tuttle to take this long to get there.
Yeah. All these things like, are you going to cut out Cotter's heart? No. Like,
I did, because I was like, who the fuck cares about Cotter? Like, this game has given me no reason to care one way or the other. So it's just like, sure, whatever, I'll do your blood magic ritual.
It was a little Indiana Jones for me, so...
It was very Temple of Doom.
What happens when you cut out his heart?
Nothing.
Does she eat it?
No.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, no, you just, like, squeeze it over, like, a fire, and it's like, the ritual's done, guys, great job. And you walk out, and that's it.
When I gave Cotter the poison, one of the women who was in the chamber with them, like, loses her mind control, and I can't remember anybody's name, but the female bastard ends up just stabbing her to death.
The female bastard. The lady bastard.
Lady bastard of the bastard family.
Who cares?
Exactly. And then at the end where it was like this big, everything's gone to shit, but we're in the North Grove and Tuttle's so important. And I was just kind of like, how dare you?
During the credit sequence, they have, like, the TV show characters talking about the characters and what you've done in the show. And, like, Jon Snow starts with, like, I saw a bit of myself in Tuttle. It's like, I bet you did.
I hated that segment. It's like, first you go through all this shit where your choices are, like, railroaded or roadblocked, and then at the end, all these characters are, like, talking shit about you. All these characters these TV show characters that they forced into the game really clumsily.
Oh my god.
Now they're just talking about how everybody's a piece of shit. And that's why, that's the moment that they leave you with.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if we'll see anything from this in the show, since they're trying so hard to shoehorn these characters in their opinions of these events into the game. But, like, what could possibly come from this? Who cares?
Exactly.
Did you choose to stay in the North Grove, or did you choose to go march on the North?
Oh, I chose to stay in the North Grove.
I chose to march.
Oh, really? I was just kind of like, you just stay the fuck here.
I was like, fuck it, I gotta pull a bear.
I'm gonna kill the White Hills.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really what I was at. Like, was it Griff? At the end of the game, he's the only one I cared about, and I just wanted to punch him in his face. Like, that's it.
Did you kill him?
No.
Oh my god.
Did you?
I totally did, yeah.
Oh my god, I couldn't get to him.
I stabbed him and I threw him into the fireplace.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
2 episodes ago, I poked out his eye.
Yeah.
Last episode, he had a perfect pair of eyes. And then this episode, he has an eye patch.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so...
So they fixed it. Okay.
They fixed it.
So maybe we should talk about Asher's tracks, since we're on that. So we both obviously saved Asher.
Well, first, there's that little battle with just random White Hill troops.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the hall, and the troops are kind of leading up there, and Lord Whitehill gives Roderick back. The body of Roderick, I should say.
Yeah, and the crying animations are hysterical. They are like Deadly Premonition bad.
Oh.
But Deadly Premonition is, like, so joyful. It's all part of the package. Like, this was just bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. And then it's like, marry my daughter and everything will be cool.
Yeah.
So, and then you get the chance or the option to poison Lord Whitehill, ambush Lord Whitehill. What you do?
I poisoned. I'm guessing you ambushed since you got to kill him.
I poisoned.
Oh.
But I knocked the cup away from my mother.
Oh, I let her drink it. I was like, I don't care. You've been annoying the whole game.
It said stop her. I thought Asher was going to drink it instead, and I was like, okay, I'll do this, whatever. But no, he just smashes it out of her hand, and then everybody's like, what the fuck? It was bad.
Oh, yeah, I just let her drink it. I was like, because she takes away from Asher, like, let me drink. And I was like, okay.
Did Lord Whitehill die?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Mine did not.
He died and the mom died.
Oh my god, I would kill for that.
Yeah, I was very happy with that choice.
So did you guys, like, win the battle?
No.
Oh, okay.
Though, one thing I will say is Beska is, like, the best.
MVP, yeah.
Yeah, MVP, best big sister ever.
She's the besta.
I love that she just is like, Ryan's my brother. And everybody's like, okay. And she's just like, yeah, you're my brother. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to, like, kill all these guys. I got you. We're good.
I was so attached to the pit fighter people.
I know.
Every time one of them died, I was like, no, you're better.
That's such a waste.
I know.
It's such a waste.
Like, we finally get these really colorful characters who are not
and they're cannon
the same, like, brown-haired white person. And then suddenly they all die.
Sandy-haired, bearded men. So, I guess, does that end the same for you then with, like, Asher almost dead on the back of a horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that I fucking hate Gwen this episode. She stabbed me.
Yes, she stabbed me too.
Like, fuck you. Like, that's one of those things that's like, I get her trying to make peace, but at the same time, it's a lot easier to be in that position when your family isn't constantly being offed by the White Hills.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate it, but at the same time, you fucking ambushed, murdered my brother, and you're the reason my little brother got stabbed in the throat, and so no, I'm not going to be good.
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, I think Asher is one of the few characters I care about, which is funny because at the beginning I could not give two fucks about him. Like, he was like so dull, and somehow he's emerged as...
He felt kind of out of place.
Yeah.
But Asher and Beska, they're
the best. If anything happens to them,
I know.
I actually don't care.
You actually don't care.
Do you want to move on to Mira then?
If we must.
Oh, Mira.
And so Marjorie, did you get kicked out of Marjorie's service?
I did.
Yeah, me too, because I took the heat for Sarah.
Yeah,
who was
me too.
kind of trying to stab me behind my back.
Yeah.
And I ended up being a lot ruder to her than I thought the decisions I was making
Me too.
were. My choice was like, oh, it's a steep price, but it's already over. And she's like, well, maybe I shouldn't have done it, but it's too late now. And I was like, geez, Mira.
Yeah. So this degrades quite quickly. We've had the dead guard kind of looming over all this. And the way he pays off is in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Which is someone starts a rumor, not only that she murdered him, but she's been murdering guards the whole time through her sexual wiles.
Yeah. With her sexuality.
Yeah. Why?
I know.
Like, was it not enough to have, like, had this self-defense thing? And then I think you had said you had thrown out the knife.
Yes, I did.
So I had kept it, thinking, oh, now I have a knife, which never came into play, except for when they're switching the room, and she goes, oh, no, the knife's here. Tom's like, why? So did that play out differently for you at all, or are they still in a panic that they were searching her quarters?
They're still searching her quarters, and they were freaking out. But they were more like, oh, they're looking for us.
Yeah.
Not the knife, because I just threw it on top of a bush, and nobody seemed to find it.
The plan is perfect.
You kind of get away, and then you meet up with that sandy
blonde guy.
blonde guy. And then, surprise, he's the one who sold you out.
And then, he gets, like, a bad case of the Mr. Jefferson. Because he just starts monologuing.
And then he attacks you, and then you can't kill him. You really couldn't do anything as Mira, except for that one decision at the end. Like, this entire episode.
And that decision was terrible. He shouldn't have turned into a monologuing supervillain.
Yeah.
You should have been able to extend the game to him as, like, the court game. You should have been able, like, did you accept his proposal?
I did not.
I did. And that basically just amounts to Tom dies and Mira is done for the rest of the episode. So, like, you should have been able to play the game more. It shouldn't have been a negotiation in a jail cell. You should have been able to negotiate the marriage or the relationship in different circumstances so that she still does have some power to leverage.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been a lose-lose for her. Mm-hmm. It should have been a proclamation, kind of like Fiona learning to become more than an NPC, or it's like this is when she commits to playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, you thought, like, the thing with Marjorie should have been a false flag. Like, she chooses to either stand by her morals or to, like, stay in Marjorie's service, playing the game. And this is the committal. Like, she is in this. That's how it should have played out to me.
I really wish that she would have been the one to come up with the marriage idea.
Exactly.
Instead of him being like, I'll keep you in a cage.
Yeah.
God. It was so bad.
So bad.
But, yeah, she got her head chopped off.
Yeah.
So that sucked.
So in my game, she survived, but Tom died in her place. But she's kind of subservient and, like, resigned to her fate, where it's like, this should be another step in the game for you. Like, I can't... This was such a missed opportunity.
That's the thing that bothers me, is that Mira has the option of dying. Tuttle does not. What is justice? Very little happened. There was just so much crap to get to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been nice if Mira had agency, or Tuttle had a personality, or Asher had a way out. But
yeah,
none of these things. I and 21% of characters fought with fierce passion, which means that everybody died and things were terrible.
I was around the 29.4% that fought with cutting strategy. Mm-hmm. Whatever that means. So do you want to go through episode-specific choices?
No. So last episode, we asked what you wanted out of the final episode, and we got some amazing responses. Bleeders commented that the series can redeem itself by giving them a refund. Otherwise, if Asher gets to slaughter every last Whitehill down to their last smug asshole soldier, I guess I'll be content.
And that didn't even happen.
No. Didn't even kill Lord Whitehill. God.
I killed him, I didn't kill Griff.
I know.
Maybe that's it. Like, if you successfully kill Lord Whitehill, you can't kill Griff. Strazel, I think, had probably my favorite pitch for a finale, and I really wish Telltale read it. Or who knows, maybe they did and went, crap, we can't do that now. Because they thought of it. Garrett finds the Ark of the Covenant in the North Grove, opens it, and his face melts off. Love it already. Mira turns into Mecha Mira, destroys everyone at King's Landing, and becomes queen. Asher/Roderick Falcon punches Lord Whitehill and sends him flying like Team Rocket. A text scroll at the end promises that Telltale is actually going to try from now on. 10 out of 10 ending.
Oh, God.
If only. Which, to be fair, again, Tales from the Borderlands was great. I don't know what happened.
Another great comment was from Mr. Silver? They said that they would redeem it by announcing the previous 5 episodes were a dream Garrett had while he lay dying at the Red Wedding, and that the final episode will be a 20-hour extravaganza far removed from the show characters and inevitable canon events that made it so impossible for Telltale to get their own story going without being beholden to the show. Yes.
You know you've done something wrong when it was all a dream is the favorable outcome.
Oh, God. These comments were really my favorite thing about the series, is that everybody bitching together in harmony.
I know. I feel like I live in Bizarro World because this game has gotten really high praise from a lot of outlets I respect. And obviously, like, you can't agree on everything. But there's a sense of, like, what am I doing wrong that I'm feeling so terribly about this game?
I refuse to think that it's anything about me personally, just because it's so bad. Like, it's
so bad.
It's just one of those things where I've played bad games before.
I like bad games normally.
Yeah. There's a lot of charm in some bad games, but this was so bad. And, like, I could not go 15 minutes playing this game without thinking, wow, this is so bad.
Yeah.
So that does it.
We never did choices.
Oh.
So I guess the choices for the actual episode we should go through now. And they kind of went through a comprehensive, this is what you did for the entire season, and none of it mattered. You sorry bastards.
Yeah, but at least you were fiercely passionate.
Yeah. But this is what we had to do in the actual episode. So for me, it was me, and 65.7% told Marjorie the truth and were dismissed.
Which I also got.
Okay, so you're part of the 65.7%. I and 22.5% agreed to marry Morgren, who I guess is the bearded, sandy-haired man.
That's his name, apparently, which we learned after the entire series. Yeah, I did not, and so she got her head chopped off. So thanks for that, Telltale.
Maybe Garrett will reattach it with his blood magic.
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck this game. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I and 55.2% butchered Cotter for the blood magic ritual, because why not? Who cares?
Yeah, I did not, because I was, for some reason, trying to be a good person. Who knows why.
That's such a change for you from last episode.
I know.
Where you're just like
although I did have, whenever there was a chance, I had all the characters shout Iron from Ice. Mira shouted that right before she got beheaded. So I was like, okay.
I and 26.2% Poison Lord Whitehill and Lady Forrester.
I knocked the cup out of her hand.
Oh, you're such a good person.
I'm a good son. But then she just gets fucking murdered on the street outside. Of course she does.
She was the worst. Like, she was just like, whatever plot called for, she would oppose. And then in the end, I and 52.2% abandoned the North Grove to march on Ironwrath with my polar bear.
I did not, because I want them to stay as far away from the main game as possible.
Maybe Tuttle will die in the march.
Yeah. Oh. The polar bear has to eat something. Maybe if that's how season 2 opens, just a polar bear eating Tuttle's stomach, then, like, maybe I'll try it out.
Or just the polar bear walking, you just see, like, the crow armor laying in a pile.
So now we want to know what you thought about this wonderful episode of Telltale Games Game of Thrones. Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all of our latest episodes and water cooler discussions. This game is garbage.